Yes, sir. We're live, man.
Sure.
Daryl, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Man, it's the weekend, man. We're still working. What you got going on this weekend?
Get some more deals, dog. It's day one, man, of Wholesale Hard Knocks, baby.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for the show, bro.
Yes, yes.
So I'm getting my IG live up right now while we get going.
That is a good idea. My phone's dead, though.
Cool.
That's
So
good.
yeah, bro. Let's let the people know what this show is about.
Man,
Actually, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Mike. How about actually you start?
I'm Daryll Ellison. You see IG right here at Daryll Ellison. I'm a real estate entrepreneur. In sub two, buying deals nationwide, helping sellers, helping wholesalers, helping people, get their things, get their business on track. About
Yes, sir. So what does your business model look like?
So my business model right now is we do a lot of JV, um, joint venture. If anybody doesn't know what JV is, we do a lot of wholesaling, buy and hold. We're doing Airbnbs, um, and really, I'm really like my business is really helping newer wholesalers get their first deals. Right. So if there's people who have leads but they really don't know what to do with them, they send them to me, and my team closes them, whether they're cash deals, creative deals. Um, and really just out here providing value.
Love that. Providing value, getting some deals in exchange for it. Super dope.
For sure.
Um,
For
yeah.
sure.
So for me, I have a direct to seller business. It's a little bit different than Daryl's model. Daryl has pretty much people like myself when I started bring him deals. So what my business looks like is I go directly to a seller and I say, "Hey, seller, are you looking to sell your property?" And once they say yes, then they go through our system. They get locked up in a contract at some sort of number. And then we go dispo that contract to somebody else, or we buy it. So we're really just focused on wholesale. There's three main things we do: wholesale, novation agreements, and fix and flips. So those are the three. We're not really holding on too many properties at this moment. We're not too focused on it like Daryl is. Um, so yeah, I have a full fledged pretty much operation on. I got virtual assistants, cold calling. Um, they're called full time throughout the whole entire week. Leads get generated. They get locked up into contracts. Those contracts get sold, and that's what my model looks like. So Daryl deals with a lot of other investors bringing him deals. I just deal with a lot of internal structure,
So,
internal systems and processes.
so let's talk about that, bro, because a lot of people they start off with direct to seller models, right?
Mm-hmm.
What what challenges did you have starting off, like your direct to seller model? Because you obviously need money to start, right? Doing something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So to show the difference between the two, in Daryl's model, Daryl just provided a shit ton of value to other investors. Like, hey, here's what Daryl did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you got really good at talking to sellers, right?
Of course, yeah.
Like you understood, hey, I'm a freaking sales beast. So let me go build this beast as a really good sales guy. And then you brought value to other investors because they might not be um, as ready to go into those sales conversations, right? They might
Or
not
maybe
have,
they just don't want to, right?
or
Like,
they don't want to,
yeah,
right?
I have a lot of people who don't necessarily want to talk to sellers, but they want to generate leads, right? So
Hmm.
they're generating leads and they just have a bunch of leads sitting in their pipeline and nobody to talk to them. Right. So
Love it. So Daryl just got really good. Did you went into another person's business?
I did go into another person's business for about 6, 7 months. My first 6, 7 months in sub two, I worked for another person and learned a lot, bro. Learned a shit ton.
Love it. So yeah, dude, like if I were to go back, I think that might be one thing that I would change. So just to go back to Daryll's model a little bit, he learned from another investor, plugged into their business, got really good at talking to sellers, and then provided that talking to sellers technique and strategy that he has. He provided that to other investors. And in exchange, they bring him deals. So they all do deals together. Now, Daryll doesn't have to pay too much out of pocket for that up front to go generate the leads. Unlike my model is more like, hey, I'm going to dish out a bunch of money up front to these virtual assistants, to these systems, CRMs, all these things, these softwares. I'm going to put a bunch of money up front, and in return, I'm going to get leads. Now, my model is much more expensive, and it's probably a longer route to go because you have a longer learning curve, right? Daryll plugged into somebody's business, and his learning curve went like this because he already saw somebody's model.
And don't get me wrong, I did start off same type of thing, direct to seller model, right? I was cold calling myself though, and it got real expensive real fast, right? And I'm like, man, I can't keep up, right? Like, because people don't understand. Like, I got my first couple deals pretty fast, right? But with wholesaling and just real estate investing in general, bro, this shit's a fucking emotional roller coaster, bro. Like, you may not get your first deal for a year, right? Imagine spending money every single month to, like you said, systems, CRMs, VAs, just to not get a deal in a year, right? A lot of people go through that. So,
and that's what I went through, bro. I tried doing this business, bro. Now that I think about it, for legit maybe 3 years without getting a deal. Nothing consistent in the first like 2 years of that. I would like go maybe walk some MLS properties or just stupid shit like that. I went to what is that company called? Fortune Builders. I went to one of their 3-day workshops. You know, that's what I was doing in the very, very beginning, like 3 years ago. And I wasn't really doing anything the first 2 years. I would just, like I said, I would just go maybe walk a couple properties, wasn't doing any type of marketing, nothing consistent. And then I started getting serious about it in December of 2020. And I didn't get my first deal until June of 2021. And in that whole entire time, I was spending money every single month, like just hoping and praying that I was going to get a freaking deal to get my money back.
So when you say you were consistent, what did that look like?
I started getting consistent probably in the beginning of 2021. And what I mean by consistent was consistently learning, consistently. And at this point, I was like on YouTube University, like how everybody starts. Don't think that that's the best route to go, but we'll get there. So I was like consistently taking action on learning and then taking action on a bunch of different things that I thought that was going to get me a deal. Driving for dollars, going to MLS properties, sending out mailers. I was trying to get on the radio for radio ads. I was doing a bunch of different things and nothing was sticking. I was consistent of doing a bunch of different things, but I wasn't consistent with one thing.
Dang, bro. And that's big, right? That's big. So when you started getting consistent on that one thing, what was that, and how did that change everything?
So what I ended up doing, this was about March 2021. I had a big stack of vacant mailers, right, that was sent back from vacant properties where the owner wasn't there. And so what happens is, for anybody that doesn't know, when you send out a mailer and there's no owner that lives at that property and it's just a vacant boarded up house or something, you will get that mailer back in the mail and they'll tag it as vacant. So the post office will send it back to you. I had a big stack of them and I'm like, yo, hold on, there's a shit ton of opportunity here.
Right.
And I seen the whole stack. I had like 100 of them. And I'm like, yo, there's no freaking way in hell I'm calling 100 people. So I was just researching cold calling, and I found out that there's virtual assistants that will cold call for you. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I need a virtual assistant. Just another one of those things that I was just trying to make work. I was
love
just
that.
trying to make some things work. So what ended up happening was I went on Facebook. I was like, hey, anybody know of a good virtual assistant company? In one of the Facebook groups, somebody ended up saying, yes, I got one for you. I got super lucky. First one that I interviewed, she was a rock star. She started doing my calling. At that point, I still had no idea about wholesaling in general. Think about it. I'm
You're just
coming
taking
from a
action. You're just taking action. You don't even know what you're really getting yourself into.
100%. I'm just taking action. I'm just like, yo, I want to do all this shit. I'm going to get a deal. I'm going to throw a bunch of money into the business. Something's going to come back. It's super simple. I understand it. You're going to be able to just lock up a property super low and sell it to somebody and it'll be good. But
So how did
dude,
that work out for you?
it didn't. It didn't, bro. Because I didn't know how to wholesale.
Right.
I had no idea. I had no idea about real estate investing at this point. I was learning from a fix and flipper.
Okay.
So I understood like construction and I understood construction numbers and I understood like ARVs and rehab costs and things like that. I understood that. But I had no idea how to really get a deal. I had no idea. I didn't understand. Um, I'll leave it at this. I didn't understand how to go find a problem to solve.
That's big, bro. Because that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole mindset shift that you need to make, right? It's not if you're going around thinking like, oh, I need a deal, I need a deal, I need a deal. You're not gonna get a deal. You got to ask yourself, what problem am I going to solve today? Right? What's up? What problem can I solve? Whose problem can I solve? How can I help these people? And that's when the deals come, right? And I'm sure once you shifted that mindset, that's when your deals started to come. Am I right?
100%. So just to go over, that's pretty much where my bottleneck was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear like what your bottlenecks were as far as mindset and everything in the beginning.
My bottleneck in the beginning was really I needed to unlearn all the old shit, all the negative shit that I was living my whole life, right? I had to unlearn everything, and it wasn't really like bottlenecks with the business because I got my deals kind of fast, right? I got 3 deals in 3 months, my first 3 deals, right?
When did you first start?
I first started October 2020.
Okay, October 2020.
October
Did you know
2020.
about wholesaling at that point?
I had no clue, bro.
How did you get into it?
I had no clue, bro. So it's actually crazy. And shout out to our viewers right now. We got 12 people on Facebook. Well, 10 people on Facebook, 2 on YouTube. I got like 10 on my Instagram right now. Jump
Yes,
on
sir.
Facebook, jump on YouTube, get in the chat, man. But I started off, bro. It's actually kind of crazy. My mom, she lives in Arizona, right? She had a rental property in Reading, Pennsylvania, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Her tenant stopped paying. He went ghost. Nobody knew where he was at, right? So she's like, "Yo, I don't know what to do. I can't keep paying this mortgage." And I'm like, "I don't know what to do either." So I ended up coming across like wholesaling on YouTube, and I just became obsessed, bro. Became obsessed. I stopped listening to music, stopped playing the game. I stopped everything and just focused on how can I solve my mother's problem, right? What can I learn something to figure this out, right? And that's what I did. I ended up I fucked the deal all the way up, right? I was fortunate enough that it was my mom and she paid me a little something on the side,
Mm-hmm.
but bro, I ended up finding a realtor who had a buyer, right? I sold them the deal and she kept me off the HUD. She didn't even put me on the HUD. Like she totally tried to like wipe me out the deal, bro. And it was crazy. But I ended up solving my mom's problem. She got what she wanted for the house. She sold it, right? And I took that money and I just put it straight into marketing, right? Because before that, I'm helping her and I'm hand dialing this whole time, right? I forget where I got a list from. I think I was just driving for dollars and I'm hand dialing these people all day. And I'm like, bro, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way, right? So then I, like just like you, I'm on the YouTube University, right? Watching Brent Daniels, all this stuff. Then I ended up finding Pace. Um, got 2 more deals, and I instantly went into the mentorship, instantly. And like you said, bro, I got into somebody's business and just learned as much as I could. Took a lot from their business and just worked on my craft. Right, I got good at closing, and then here we are. I start helping other people. But like the bottlenecks that I was having, it was really I don't want to call it fool's gold, but the fact that I had got those first 3 deals really, really easy, it made me think that this shit was easy. Like it made me think that this business was easy, right? Because I got those first 3 deals, and
Mm-hmm.
then next thing you know, I didn't get another deal for like 6, 7 months, right? I got all happy. I quit my job like after those first 3 deals, quit my job and everything, and I ain't get another deal for like 6, 7 months, bro. I went broke. I went
Damn.
broke. So like, and that's another reason why I started the JV model, right? Because I didn't have the money to start it up again and start marketing and buy more lists and
So did you keep marketing while you were working for that other business?
yeah, I kept marketing while I was working for the other business.
And you kept paying for marketing and paying for softwares and all these things while you were still an acquisition manager in somebody else's
100%.
business.
Yeah, I had VAs. I couldn't even pay my VAs at one point. Like I had to let them go. So like it got tough, bro. It got tough and crazy. So I mean, it was actually a point where I was out of sub two because I couldn't make my payment. Right. So like my bottlenecks, and that's really like just the whole mindset, bro. Like really had to change your mindset because like we were just talking about this. If Marlon's still watching, shout out to Marlon. We were just talking about this in his morning mindset coffee. Right, when you're going through these tough times and like shit just is going bad, right? That's when you're closest to succeeding, right? That's when you're closest to knocking that door down and getting what you want. And if you're sitting here dwelling and thinking like, man, it's just not working, or man, like I'm never gonna get a deal, or it's never gonna work for me, you're absolutely right. You're not gonna get it. You need to shift your mindset and just be grateful for what you're going through at that time. You know, so that's what that was for me, bro.
Yeah, it's like that meme. You know the meme where the dude's digging for gold.
3 feet
There's
from
there's one
gold.
dude up top that walks away, and then
Yep.
there's another dude at bottom, and the gold's like right there.
Yep.
It's kind of like that. But do you think that you would have got into the business if your mother didn't have that property?
No, I don't think so.
That's pretty
I
crazy.
mean, I think I would have another way, right? Another way it would have came up, but it's just crazy that that's the first person that I helped. Like, and I needed it, bro. Like that I needed it at that time, and she did too, right? So I just did what we had to do.
So do you think in those first 3 deals, you knew at that point that you solved the problem?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then what happened after that? Did you just forget, or did you just neglect um, that you had to reverse engineer those particular problems?
What happened was, bro, I didn't reinvest my money to in my business. I reinvested in myself, right? I got into sub two, but the rest of the money, I blew that shit, bro.
Hmm.
I blew it, bro. It was my first time touching some real money, and I blew it, bro. But it's crazy because I was talking to another person in the mentorship. His name's Pito, right? And he was saying like he's older, right? Like, and I'm grateful for that too. Like all my friends are older, right? And he was telling me, he's like, bro, honestly, I'm happy that you did that. I'm happy you got it out your system, right? Because most people they don't touch no real money till they're older, and what
Ooh,
happens when they
so
get it,
good.
right? They're gonna blow it,
Hmm.
right? So I'm grateful, man. I'm definitely grateful for what happened, right? And it's just a lesson, bro. Everything's a lesson, and mindset, bro. When you change your mindset and you realize like everything that's happening, good or bad, is a lesson, and you have something to learn from it, you're gonna go so much further, bro. Like it's inevitable.
No, that's a fact, bro. That's so good what you said about the you got to get it out of your system because I went through that. I went through a point in my life I started making money, and I never had money before that. Before I started making money, probably in my like early 20s, I started touching some money, and I never seen money in my whole entire life.
Word.
So I'm going crazy. And then I had to stop. I remember there was a point where I was like, yo, I got to stop. I
Yeah.
have to stop spending money like crazy, and I just got to go get after it. And that's when I really started making some real money.
Yep.
And then it ended up happening again, bro, because I got to another level. Same thing. And now I'm in the process right now of going through um, the same process of, bro, what the hell are you spending money on on a designer shirt or something for? Right? Like, there's no need for that shit. You're not even close to where you need to be
Right.
at. You know what I mean? So there was like levels to it, but I'm back in that mentality right now where, yo, I'm not spending no freaking money on dumb shit.
Yeah, bro.
'Cause I don't got it like that yet.
It only makes sense, bro. Like I just seen a post on Instagram where it was like it was acting like the guy who works for Gucci, right? He's like, yo, how do we convince rich people to pay $15,000 for a bag that it costs us $15 to make? And the trick is we don't convince rich people. It's poor people who buy our stuff because they want to.
That's classic.
It's facts, bro. Like you
No,
look
it
at all
is.
these rich people that we know, all these successful people that we know, right? Like personally know, right? You do not see them wearing all this designer shit and all this extra shit. Yeah, they have nice things,
Mhm.
right? They use their cash flow to pay for that.
Exactly. No, 100%. Even Grant Cardone says he didn't spend no money until he got in like his 40s. Now
Bro,
he will go spend the bread on a nice watch or his nice cars, whatever he got, but it's from his passive.
invest everything, bro.
Mhm.
Brad Lee just said it. He's like, yo, if you make yeah, John Lim just put in the chat, Under Armour only. Facts. Yo, he said if you're if you're only making $1,500 a month, right?
Mhm.
What is he said? What is he gonna do with it? If he's only making $1,500 a month, right? He's like, I'm not doing nothing with it. He's like, if I have to live under a bridge, I'm gonna live under a bridge. I'm not gonna eat like he's like, I'll eat out of a fucking trash can. But that $1,500 a month is going straight. It's getting invested, right?
Mhm.
I'm investing everything I have because I'm. Of course, he's being a little extreme, right? But you gotta put that money somewhere so you can come back to you, bro, and you can get that passive cash flow. You don't have to worry about shit like this.
No, that's a fact. But I'll be honest, bro. I had to get that shit out of my system
Exactly, bro.
because when you come from not really having money from before
Exactly.
to having it, you see it. You're like, oh nah, son. I grew up seeing everybody have a bunch of nice shit. I want some nice shit.
And that's why I mean it's good though, right? Like we're young, bro, and again it's a lesson. Like
Yeah, exactly.
you learned your lesson, right? We're 25. Like we got fucking most people don't start touching money till they're 40, 50 years old, bro. So
Nah, big facts.
we got time.
Um, so yeah, let's talk about a little bit what this show is gonna be about. So going forward, what Wholesale Hard Knocks is about is helping other investors, especially new investors, get into the business. So a lot of people deal with the same problems that me and Daryll had in the beginning. And we're not any real estate guru or we're not doing freaking 100 deals a month or something like that. We're still in the process of building our beast, you know? And as we do this, we want to bring other new investors like me and Dow were a year ago, and we want to bring them to shorten their learning curve. We want to bring them on the show. We want to talk to their sellers. We want to deep dive on their bottlenecks. We want to figure out how we can get these people to shorten their learning curve faster than we did. Um,
100%.
so, what are your thoughts about the show, Daryl?
Bro, I just want to be in a position to where we can just give, bro. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
give, right? Like I want newer investors. I want people who are learning about real estate. I want them to come to our channel and really just learn from step A to step Z how to get into this space, bro. How to to watch out for the stuff that we know is coming, right? Like we know the boogeyman's behind this door, and we know how to
Yeah.
get past that, right? So I just want to give people the blueprint, have people come up here and let us know like what they need help with, right? What do you need help with? How can we help you? And just provide value, bro. Just provide as much value as possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to accomplish as well. I just want, like, for free, by the way. I don't want anything.
I don't want anything, bro.
Legit.
Like, bring your sellers up here. If you have tough sellers, me and Mike could call them. If you need to comp a deal, like we'll do that. If you're just stuck in your business, like if you need help, just mindset, and if you just need a point, like need to be pointed in the right direction, we got you. Right.
For
This
sure.
is what this song was about. We're gonna have
because
some.
I wish I had this when I was in the same spot a year ago.
100%. 100%. We'll have some of our friends come up here that are more successful than us, who like people that I look up to. We want them to come on here, right, and give game and give feedback, and just make this real big, man. Real big.
Hell yeah. No, I definitely want to see some of my friends on here. To be honest, most of my friends are doing more deals than me.
Yeah, that means you got the right friends, bro.
Exactly.
All my friends are doing way more deals than me.
That's how that's another mindset thing that we can go over. But we wanted this particular episode, instead of bringing a new investor on from the jump, we thought that talking about mindset would be most ideal in this first episode, because it's the biggest hump to get over. Like, if you don't get over this in the beginning, you're going to be spinning your tires. You're just going to keep spinning your tires, and
you're going to end up quitting.
Exactly.
Look, bro.
Legit.
Like everybody on YouTube, Instagram, they make it look sexy, they make it look cool, easy, but there's work that needs to be done, bro. You need to do work.
That's a fact, bro. And there's a lot of different types of mentalities that come into the business. Like, I remember hearing a story of some guy spent like 10 grand on a mailing campaign, didn't get one deal from it. He probably got some calls. I can already tell you what happened. He got some calls. He didn't know how the heck to talk to sellers.
Yep.
And
he probably wasn't even answering all his calls.
Exactly.
Like,
probably had no idea how to field the calls, no idea how to, or he went on the appointment and didn't know what a deal was. Like, he just didn't understand the business and just thought, like I thought in the beginning, oh, I'm going to pump some money into it and I'm going to see that money come back. It just makes a ton of sense. Yeah. If I dump $1,000 into this, I'm probably going to see, maybe 4,000 back. Doesn't really work like that if you don't know what the heck you're doing.
Bro, they don't. And like most people, they don't show. And that's another thing I want to show, like the tough shit that people go through, right? Like people, like, just for instance, earlier this week, right? I'm helping John Lim set up his Airbnb, right? People only show you the cash flow from the Airbnb. They don't show you setting up the fucking beds and 100 damn boxes, traveling from house to house, right? And messing up. And me personally, I don't like reading instructions, so it takes longer to set up a dresser or some shit like that, right? But like, people don't see that side of real estate, right? And not even just like that, because that's a little advanced for what we're talking about, right? We're talking about wholesale. Like, people only see deals.
People only see the checks,
right? But they don't see that you got to follow up with a seller 6 to 10 times just to get a deal, right? Then they don't talk about the title issues that are going to come on every single transaction. Have you ever had a deal that was clean, like really easy, no problem?
No, bro. My first deal ever took 7 months of follow-up.
Oh my gosh.
7. Oh my probably like every other week, I think I followed up with that guy, and finally he called me back. Hey man, I'm ready to sell it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's been 7 months.
You're consistent though. Then that's what this game rewards: consistency. And people they don't understand that, right? They think, okay, if I talk to the seller one time, I should close this deal. No, it doesn't work like that at all. It happens once in a blue moon, right? Like, it happens once in a blue moon. And then once you get that fucking deal, it's gonna take you I'm working on a deal that's been entitled for like 3 months now, bro. I had this deal under contract in December, and we still have not closed yet. We've had a buyer, like we have a buyer set up. He's ready to go. Like, he paid DMD. Like, everything's done on my part. We're just waiting on title to close, bro. Like,
Yeah,
and it's
probably on
crazy.
average, these things, if you lock up a contract, at least in my business, it usually takes about 90 days to get paid on. Because a lot of shit goes into it. Maybe the seller's not ready to move out yet. They got some tenants they got to kick out.
Yeah,
There's maybe we're doing a renovation. There has to be some renovations. Like usually we don't get paid for like 90 days.
it's crazy,
But
bro.
here's when I started seeing deals is when the people in my CRM, whenever I call them back, they started acting like my friend.
Yep,
And when they picked up the phone, they said, "Hey, Mike, what's going on?"
yep.
Like I'm their homie. One, because I am. Like I've
And
been following up for months.
that's big, bro, with sales, right? And that's how you kind of that's how you get more deals, right? You want to be the
Mhm.
seller's friend, right? You want them to be on the same. I say this to my team all the time. You want them to be on the same side of the table as you, right? You don't want to be butting heads all day like two rams, right? You want to be on the same side, figuring out how you could work something out together. And that's why I'm sure when you call sellers, you don't call and say, "Hello, I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street," right? You act like you're their friend already, right? You act like you already know, right? And that's like a little secret hack that gets you further earlier, you know. Um,
Yeah, legit. Not going in as like real corporate style. Just going in like I'm calling my homie. And then they
yep.
treat you legitimately like their homie. My sales guys right now, they're actually having trouble. I'm onboarding a sales guy. My
Hmm.
first time hiring a acquisition manager. And he's having trouble sometimes talking to a seller because the seller will say, "Oh no, I don't really want to talk to you. I just want to talk to Mike."
Hmm.
Legit, because I've built such a good relationship with that seller. I've been talking to him maybe for like 4 months at this point. Legitimately happened this week. My sales guy gets on the phone with one of the leads that I'm following up with, and I have him just in our CRM just cleaning some stuff up. Gets on the phone with one of my sellers, and the seller's like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't really want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mike. Yeah, I only want to talk to Mike." I'm like, "Dude,
Mike's
I'm
not here.
busy."
So, and that's a good point, bro. Like, because since we're still talking about mindset, right? What mindset shifts did you have to make when you were going from, you know, on the only acquisitions person on your team to now you're in a manager role in your own business, right? Like, what mindset shifts did you have to tackle to do that?
So to go back a little bit, um, I even want to go back to the beginning when it was just me.
Right.
It was just me trying to do everything. Like that was one of the biggest blockers for me. I was trying to do everything. I was trying to wear every single hat in my business, like all of them. I was trying to run systems. I was trying to close sellers. I was trying to do follow up. I was trying to do transaction coordinating. Like I was trying to do every single little thing in the business. And when I did that, it neglected one part of the business as I was doing the other.
Yep.
So, for a perfect example, I was trying to manage my leads. I was trying to manage the follow up. I'd call people every other week or something like that. And once you have so many leads in your system, that role gets filled up to almost actually not almost a full-time role. That's a full-time role. So what was
Yep.
happening was I would have a bunch of follow-up calls to make. I would go get back in as lead manager, start banging the phones for 8 hours a day. And then I would get super busy.
Yep.
I would have appointments. I would have contracts. I would have to TC. I would do all those things. And then I would neglect my lead manager calls. And then
Man,
I slowed down.
that's
Right.
big.
So what I would say,
Huh?
I don't think that like you can't do this just as a one-man team. I think that you can, where you're going to be limited to a couple deals a month. Plus, if you're trying to scale, you're going to try to do too many things at once and you're going to try to scale too quick. That
Yep.
was my problem. My problem was, hey, I can do this on my own and scale at the same time. You can do it on your own, just don't try to scale while trying to do it on your own unless you're trying to grow your team. The
Yep.
only way you're going to be able to scale is growing your team and have other people come in and help, whether that's partners, employees, or whatever it is. So my problem in the beginning was trying to scale by myself. And it resulted into me wasting a bunch of money.
Makes sense. But I think, to that point, right? Like you were saying, I think starting off, right, it's best to wear all the hats, right? A lot of people don't agree with that, right? A lot of people say delegate off from the jump, right? But I feel like especially with the business, I me personally, I want to learn how to do something before I teach somebody else to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once I can't handle everything, then I start adding some people on, right? Like I cold called until I had too many leads to follow up on, right? Then I got a cold call, right? Then when I had too many leads to do lead management and too many deals in the pipeline, I had to step back, bring some acquisitions people on, and go about it that way, right? But
You went in steps.
right? Because I needed to, right? I needed to. I had to get out of doing everything my own
So
because
you didn't try to scale super quick. You didn't be like, okay, day one, I need a lead manager, transaction coordinator, all the things, right?
nah. But
Because
that's
you only
that's because it was really hard for me to scale and start delegating because I'm low key a perfectionist, right? And I don't want somebody to fuck up what I got going on. And that was my mindset. I'm like, bro, if I bring somebody on, they're gonna fuck up. And that was the wrong mindset to have, right? Like now it's like when I get leads in my system, I go straight to my acquisitions team, right? If they fuck up, then we'll just have somebody else jump on the call, right? Like I'll jump in, right? It's not that big of a deal anymore, right? And that I was just like, yo, I can't delegate because this is my baby, right? Like I don't want anybody to ruin this, and that was just a totally wrong mindset to have, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was like you kind of did it right though. You did it in steps. You got super busy and then you
Yeah,
had to delegate.
yeah,
Me, on the other hand, I was like, yo, I want to scale ASAP. I don't want to go through the growth period of figuring out how to do the transaction coordinating or how to do the follow up. I just want to do it all quick. Let's scale
yeah,
super quick. And that was my bottleneck. It resulted into me wasting a bunch of money. So, like you're saying, definitely, I agree with you. Going into each section of the business and figuring it all out. That way, it's easier to delegate. And now
yeah.
you understand how every single department works. Is definitely how you should do it.
But I mean, honestly, bro, starting off like if I could start all over again, I probably wouldn't waste time doing that though. I would probably do what I did once I got into sub two and just join somebody's business.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
honestly, like because if they already have everything set up and they already know what to do, I would just want to perfect one thing, right, and learn and just watch everything. Right, I'm very observant. Watch everything, see how they're doing everything from transaction coordinating to dispo to lead management to lead generation, right? And that's what I did, and that's what really like let me shoot, like just take off, right? And like starting over, I wouldn't even waste time spending money on systems. I wouldn't do any of that shit, bro. I would just jump on somebody's team, let them pay for everything, let them do everything else. Just give me leads. Let me call. Or if you want to do dispo, right? Just let me do
Mm-hmm.
dispo for you,
You
right?
know where this brings us is to where the biggest mindset for me was too. Now that I'm thinking about it, was what do you want?
Mm,
Do you want to operate a huge operation, a huge direct to seller operation? If you can, cool. There's a
yeah,
route to go about that. Do you want to operate a JV type of operation? Cool. There's a play for that. So I do take back what I was just saying. I think that's the route to go. That's the route to go depending on what you want.
yeah,
Maybe that's not what you want. Like for me, I know what I want. I want to control my marketing. I want to control exactly where I'm going. I want to control the um, direct market that I'm going into, the type of homes that I'm marketing to. I
yeah,
want to control all that. I want to be able to see I'm dumping in this amount of money every single month and I'm getting this back. That's just me as a person, what I want to see.
yeah,
So, like, what I want might be different from what Daryll wants, but it starts by figuring out what the heck you want. And once you figure out what the heck you want, then you go find out the blueprint for it. So, if somebody's listening to this right now and they're like, yo, I would love to do the JV type of model. I want to figure out how the heck to talk to sellers and how to jump into somebody else's business and be a freaking super closer. If that's the case, then go figure out how Daryll did it. You know what I mean? If you want to go build a direct to seller model and you want a full team and full operation where you're paying for lead generation, then go find somebody who did that.
And don't get me wrong, like direct to seller is awesome, right? We have a direct to seller model as well because, like you said, you get to choose and pick where you want to go, right? What type of houses you want, who you're talking to. You get to really target these people, and those honestly where the biggest deals come from, right? Like we get good deals with JV, but there's a lot of pieces in the pie that you got to split up, and I'm fine with that, right? Because that's the whole point of me doing this, right? Is to help other people get their first deal. Like it's so fulfilling to get somebody their first deal, right? And they just think you're the shit because you just got them their first deal. They just went like a year trying to get deals. They send you leads and you lock it up, right? But it's again like you can really scale more with direct to seller. And again, like what you want is just so important, bro. Because if you don't know what you want, how are you going to be consistent? That's what keeps you consistent every single day. If you know what you want and then you know why you want that, right? In the back of your mind when you're laying in bed at fucking 7 o'clock and or 4 o'clock, your alarm goes off, you know you're supposed to get up, right? It's like if you don't know why you're getting up or what you want to get up, what you want in life, you're just gonna stay in bed till 10, 12 o'clock. Right? Like I can't do that. Like just can't because I know what I want. And I know that me sleeping in bed till 10, 12 o'clock in the morning is not going to get me what I want.
It doesn't serve your purpose.
It does not serve my purpose at all. So that's, like you said, bro, step one. Know what you want. Know what you want, man.
How do you think somebody finds that out? Because a lot of people struggle with figuring that out.
Bro, you need quiet time. Talk to yourself. Like put your phone down and just ask yourself, what do I want? Right. And there's actually, I'm reading this book. What book was that? Is it The 4 Maps of Happy, Successful People? Keston put me on. Shout out to Keston. If you need to know what you want in your purpose, follow Keston. Talk to Keston. He can get you right. But he put me on to that book. And there's actually a game that you play, right? Like you get somebody you trust and you just ask them straight up, what do you want? Right? You let them answer it. It's probably going to be like a crazy answer. They're not going to know what to say. Like, what do you mean what I want? Right? And that's all you ask. What do you want? Right? And you just keep asking that question until they get really deep and say exactly what they want. Right? But you're not going to know what you want if you're fucking on your phone all day, on social media, looking at what everybody else wants and what everybody else is doing. You need some actual quiet time. You need to sit down, maybe meditate, right? And just get to know yourself, right? And figure out what you actually want. Because a lot of people think they know what they want, but that's really what somebody else wants, right? It's really what somebody else posted on social media and they're living somebody else's life, right?
Holy shit, dude. I didn't think of that. Use somebody else. And this actually helped me figure out what I want. Shout out to Jonah. He actually did that to me one day. It was like one of the days that we were at the mastermind. We went out to eat, and he just kept hammering me. What do you want? Why? I'm like, shit, because this and that. And then I started digging into it, and I'm like,
bro, if you don't ask yourself, how would you know? Right? Like,
legit. Definitely. Yeah, that's super dope. I actually did that with my team, and some people on my team were in tears.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's super powerful.
So powerful, bro. I don't suggest doing it with your significant other unless y'all are really, really close, because you may find out that y'all don't want each other.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's step one, bro, and that's so good. What do you want? Yeah.
Go back to the unlearning stuff. What did you have to unlearn?
Everything, bro. I had to unlearn everything. Like my mindset was just so. First of all, I had to unlearn that trading your time for money was the way to go. Right? Like trading your time for money is is I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking, but it's gonna keep you in the rat race, right? You're gonna continue to go paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, paying bills, right? And then you have a little bit left at the end of the month for you, right? Because you're trading your time for money. Like I can't you can't tell me that I'm worth $20 an hour, $15 an hour, right? I think I'm worth way more than that, right? And that was like the main thing that I had to learn, had to unlearn, right? And with me, like when I learn something and I implement it so fast, bro, so fast. Like I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's another thing, right? I had to unlearn like just like everyday stuff, right? Like driving to work, listening to music all day, right? I'm not for what? What am I learning? What am I? How is that benefiting me, right? Like I straight cut that off. I'm listening to audiobooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I got into books, right? I had to really just switch everything about me, bro. I was a completely different person, right? I had to stop blaming others, right? I had to once I realized that everything that happens is directly you're in control of everything that happens to you, and if you don't like what you're going through, then you have the absolute power to change it, right? Once I figured that out, then shit just got crazy, bro. But like I really like just implement stuff really fast. Like I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, quit my job like the next month, and I'm like I'm out of this rat race, bro. Like I'm getting out of the rat race. Stop. Yeah, my mom said I stopped playing video games. Like I used to play video games all day, bro. Wake up,
Mm-hmm.
get on the game until it's time to go to work, and go to work, and then come home, and then get on the game until I go to sleep. Like it was crazy, bro. Like I once I threw my game in the closet, I just really started like taking off, bro, and just really started channeling my energy to something positive, to something that's gonna change my family's life, bro, forever. So yeah, that's big. But like just and other things like unlearning like just like money things, right? Like I had to I wasn't investing anything, right? I was taking all my money and just spending it, right? Like I was thinking like, oh, it's just money, right? It's gonna come back. But how's it gonna come back if you're not putting it nowhere and putting it in a position for it to come back to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was big for me. What about you? What some things you had to unlearn?
Um, so essentially, it's just like changing your perception and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And what you said was really dope. Looking at time for money. I've always been like ever since I was little, I've always been a little worker. Like
Yep.
always just working as much as possible. Even once I got out of college, I would work freaking 12-hour days. So I've always been a worker, but back before, um, I would look at it as if, hey, I want to put in a bunch of hours, and I was looking at all those hours as individual hours to make money. Okay,
Yeah.
I can make $50 an hour, and I'm gonna work 10 hours. I can make $500 today, and that's I just don't look at it like that anymore. I look at it as my time whenever. So now I was being a slave to money,
Yep.
and I was trading my time for money, like you said. So I would fill my schedule up with the things that I had to do to work for money. Because I was thinking, okay, like for example, I used to cut hair. It's like, hey, let me book as many appointments as possible because I know every single time I do a haircut, I'm gonna get $50. Right. So let me book as many haircuts as I can so I can make the most amount of money. But now I had to switch that. I stopped cutting hair because I knew every time I went to go cut hair, it was not serving my purpose.
Yep.
It was gonna go make me $1. That's cool, but it wasn't serving my purpose. So now, and back then I wasn't doing this as well. Now I fill my schedule up every Sunday, and I align everything in my schedule for that next week. Every single little thing serves my higher purpose.
Yep.
Before I wasn't doing that. Before I was just like, hey, let me try to book as much shit to make money during the week as I can.
And again, bro, back to that to knowing your purpose, right? If you know your purpose, you're gonna be pulled in so many different directions throughout the week, throughout the day, And at the end of the week, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, damn, I really didn't accomplish shit. Right? I didn't really do anything that I want to accomplish. Right. And that's gold, bro. That's gold. But yeah, man.
Because you won't know what to say no to.
Yeah.
Because then I like, for example, especially when coronavirus hit, finally I was able to just say, hey, I can't cut your hair because I don't want to catch COVID.
Yeah.
It was a excuse for me.
Yeah.
But it was a good excuse because now I knew I have to go plug in some time to go serve my purpose rather than go do a damn haircut. Because I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. I just knew I was really good at it and I can make money.
Here's a question. Here's a good question. So we obviously both play football. We're college athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
What mindset, what similarities, right, are the mindsets that you need to have to be a college athlete and be a business owner and just get into real estate in general?
Leadership definitely for one. I was a big weight room guy.
Yeah.
Even throughout my high school career. So I was always the leader in the weight room.
Yeah.
Like people would look up to me in the weight room, look up to me to figure out what to do for workouts and all that type of stuff. So I was always a leader when it came to that, and that ended up transferring into my business now. And into my business now, I'm the leader. I'm the one who coaches all of our team. I'm the one who's in charge of our team culture and all that. So that's one big thing that did transfer.
I love that.
Yeah, I've always had some really good work ethic since I was young. So work ethic was never really an issue for me. Even outside of football, like even in school, I always tried my hardest. I always tried to get good grades and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it. Once college hit, I realized that I didn't need it, so I said fuck school.
Yeah.
I just focused on other things, but
yeah, I agree with everything except for the school part, bro. My grades were trash. My grades were trash. But I mean, like that's big, right? The leadership, because you got to be a leader, right? You got to be a leader, and you're actually a leader even if you don't want to be, right? Because you're doing this cool thing, right? You're in real estate. People are looking up to you, right? Like people from the outside looking in, they're like, damn, like you're really doing that. Even if you're not doing shit, like you're just in real estate, they're like, yo, you're really doing that. So like you kind of almost have to be a leader, right? And the thing that stuck with me the most, like just football and just being a man, just life in general, and like transferring that to business is adversity, bro. Like football, you're gonna go through adversity. Life, you're gonna go through adversity. Shit is gonna go wrong, right? Real estate, shit is going to go wrong. Like we were talking about earlier, every single deal, something is gonna go wrong. But if you know in the back of your mind, like I'm going through this for a reason, because on the other side of this wall, on the other side of this brick wall is the promised land, right? And I know that everything's going to be good after that, then you're going to be good, right? So don't even think about the tough shit that you're going through, right? Think about why you're doing it and what's on the other side waiting for you,
Especially with football, bro. I mean, that's where our name came from, Wholesale Hard Knocks.
Yep.
Hard Knocks in general, if anybody has watched that HBO show, it's about a training camp for the NFL team. So they pick one NFL team every single year to follow their training camp. And training camp, I know you've went through training camp, is a bitch. Like it's hard. There's 2 days you're grinding. There's a lot of adversity.
They want light on guys now. Now they don't even do 2 days anymore. But bro, a lot of places don't do 2 days. Not two practices on the field. Like 2 days is one practice on the field and one.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah, bro. But that's real, bro. Like shit is gonna go so wrong in football, right? Like you're gonna go through hell. But why do you think 2 days is so tough, right? Why do you think it's right before the season? Because it's preparing you for the game day, right? It's preparing you for Saturdays where shit isn't not gonna go as you expected every single play, right? You if you're a corner, you may get beat, right? You may get beat for a bomb, but are you gonna are you gonna dwell on that the whole game, or are you gonna come back the next play and get a pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like that, bro. That's what they're preparing you for, and that's just life, bro. Like when you're going through these hard times, it's preparing you for your dubs, it's preparing you for your wins, right? And
You
if you're
win
gonna
the
sit
title
here,
issue.
exactly, exactly, and if you're gonna sit here and you're gonna dwell on what's going wrong in your business and your life, that's what you're going to continue to get. You're never going to get that breakthrough because you're focusing on the bad, right? What you focus on is what you get. So you're going to continue to focus on, like, if you're going to continue to focus on the negative, that's all you're going to get, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
I heard somebody say, if you're going through hell, why are you going to stop? What you going to stop for, right? Just keep
Yeah,
walking.
word. Why stop here?
Right.
Yeah, bro. Like I just had a title issue that came up on one of our deals. Dude, we're gonna make so much freaking money on this deal. And come to find out, another investor had it locked up and they filed a memorandum on the property and it blew up our whole entire freaking deal.
Damn.
And like we really could have used that to dump back into our business.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I caught myself thinking negative about it for like an hour. I was honestly like, for an hour after I heard the news and I heard that it happened, I'm like, fuck. Like, damn it.
But you're a human, right? Like we all do that, right? But it's like you need to be aware, like you need to be aware of what you're thinking about. And you're like, okay, damn, let me stop sulking, right? Let me stop being mad. And let me just motherfucking do. Because there's so
That's
many
exactly what I thought. After that hour went by, I was like, yo, I legit just wasted a whole entire hour. And now that same investor that got that freaking deal used that hour that I was sulking about it to go freaking probably find another deal.
Yep.
And I'm over here freaking pouting about it. No, I should have just got on to the next one. I should have just got on the damn phones.
Yep.
Shit, we need another deal.
Yep. That's all it is, bro. Like I think I told you about the one where we're gonna make this an Airbnb. This thing is gonna make, bro, over $200K a year. It's an Airbnb, one house. HOA restricts any Airbnbs. They really, like, usually we can try to get around the HOA, but these people, you could have a sticker on your car and they physically put the sticker on your car for you. Right. So you can't like pass it off to somebody else, to one of your guests, and like just have them come through. They need to physically put it on your car. They take your VIN, they take everything. Right. So it's like, damn, there's really nothing we can get around. So I'm like, okay, I could either be mad about this or I can just go get another deal. Right. Like, and that's the biggest mindset shift that you can have, bro, is an abundance mindset. Like if you're constantly thinking scarcity, right? If you're constantly thinking, right, there's not enough deals out here. Everybody wants to be an investor. Everybody wants to get into wholesaling. I don't think there's enough deals for me. Then you're right, right? 100%. But if you sit here and you think like, okay, there's a million fucking houses in the United States, and there's only about 1,000 investors, and it doesn't even matter how many investors are there. There's enough deals for everybody. Right. And if you're constantly thinking there's always another deal, there's always another deal, there's always another deal, you're always going to get another deal. Right.
To add on that, I think what a lot of people look at like the abundance mindset as there's just enough for everybody. But I think that that's a part of it. Yeah. I also think there's a very bigger picture.
Yeah.
I think like the law of abundance, that's what people call it, right, is more of just funneling everything that happens in life. Like there's something that happens, right? There's something that happens up here, and then it gets driven to your thought. And after your thought, you have a system that you run it through. You either run it through something that is good or something that's bad. But imagine if you just took away all the bad and just ran every single thing that happened through good. And good can be like sympathy, empathy, happiness, laughter, like anything that you could think that could be good. If you run absolutely everything through that filter, then the reaction has to be good. And then you put out good shit into the world.
Yep.
Then, as you know, good shit comes back. So for a perfect example, looking at somebody else getting a deal rather than looking at it like, damn, they might have took that deal from me. Looking at it like, oh, that's super dope.
Yo, so good, bro.
That's super dope. Now
So
that good energy ends up going out into the world and the deal comes back to you.
so good, bro.
Perfect example. I had a wholesaler out here, right? In my market. Um, I'm doing a deal. No, I wasn't doing a deal. I was following up with a seller that I was talking to for legit like 6 months. I had an offer. She wasn't ready to sell yet, but I had offered her like 175. And my numbers were just off. Like I completely messed this whole deal up. My numbers were off. I was looking at it from a standpoint of I was going to go do the fix and flip. I wasn't really looking at it as a standpoint what I could sell the deal for. And my ARV was off, my rehab cost was off, everything was off. So my offer was 175. The wholesaler, like 6 months later, I see the property on Facebook. Another wholesaler had it locked up and they were selling the deal. And I'm like, damn, what the heck? How'd that happen? They locked it up. I forget what number they locked it up, but it was higher than me. I messed up my numbers. Now, instead of saying, hey, what the heck, that wholesaler took the deal from me and being spiteful about it, I actually reached out to the wholesaler and we now have a business relationship and we're closing on a deal together, knock on wood.
Bro,
we sent her a deal like a month ago that should be closing next week. And we're going to make $30,000 on the deal.
that's so good, bro.
That probably would have never happened if I didn't reach out to them. After I legit reached out to her after I saw it on Facebook from a standpoint of like, yo, how do we do deals together?
Right.
Like, how did you sell that deal? I want to give you my deals.
Yeah.
That would have never happened if I looked at it from a standpoint of like, fuck, dude, they're taking my deals.
Yep. And you're salty, right? So, yo, I'm glad you said that because I was literally just having this conversation with Olu. Shout out my boy Olu. He's in sub 2. He's in the DMV. And he was over here at my crib the other day. And so the third deal I've ever closed, right? It was a deal out here in Maryland, in Baltimore. And it's the deal that actually got me into sub 2, right? I used that money to get into sub 2. And Olu, he had saw me on Facebook. He had saw I was marketing the deal on Facebook. He's like, yo, bro, I just had this deal under contract, like right before you, like probably like 6 months ago. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And when I sold it, he's like, bro, how did you sell this? Right. And we became friends, right? And we started talking about it. And I really didn't pay that no mind. Right. And at that time, right. And I didn't tell him this at that time. I just told him this the other day. Actually, I'll finish what our conversation was. He said the other day, like he was actually leaving my crib and he just stopped. He's like, bro, you know what's crazy? I was actually just thinking about this the other day. He's like, if you would have never closed that deal that I had under contract, you probably wouldn't have been in sub 2. And we probably wouldn't be friends. Like he was like, I probably wouldn't have reached out to you. And now you're one of my best friends. He's like, we do deals together, like we learn from each other, we do a whole bunch of shit together. Right. And I'm like, damn. Like I never thought about it like that, right? And then what made it even better, I'm like, bro, I didn't tell you this, but at that time, I was pretty much homeless, bro. Like I was living on my boy's air mattress in the fucking living room, it was on my last month. Like I had to go after that. So if I didn't get a deal, like it was up, right? I had to go. I was gonna be like,
legit, I got hairs going in my arm,
bro. And I never told him that. He's like, bro. He's like. And that's just the abundance mindset, right? He's like, you needed that deal more than me. And now look at us, right? Like we're killing shit together. And I'm like, yo, I just kept thinking about that after he left. I'm like, bro, I was not thinking about it like that. And it's just crazy to have to be around people like that, who think like that, who think in abundance, right? And just like that energy transfers, bro. The energy transfers. So that's just crazy, bro.
That's another mindset thing that I had to get over as well. Because in the beginning, I was trying to do everything on my own.
Yeah.
I probably, in the beginning, dude, if I got a deal, like when I very first started, actually, this freaking happened. I had a property under contract. My very first contract, this is back when I first got my VA. It would have been my first deal. Locked it up at 141, and I couldn't sell the deal. I didn't reach out to any other wholesalers. I only reached out to people on Facebook. It just didn't end up selling.
Right.
I looked about like 2 months later, things sold for like 155. So I would have made 14 grand.
Sheesh.
And what happened was I just didn't have a buyer's list. There was definitely a buyer out there. Obviously, somebody bought it. Now, at this point, I have some dispo wholesalers out in that area where that property was. If I had that property under contract right now, I would just send it to one of them and they would sell for me.
Yo, that's big, bro. Like when I first started off, I refused to JV with people. Like I did not want to JV with somebody, like especially somebody finding a buyer. They were like, yo, I'll find a buyer. I got a buyer for you. Let's JV 50-50. I'm like, 50-50? Like I did all the work. I locked up the deal. What are you talking about?
Yo, I used to think the same thing, bro. I was like, people would be in my DMs like, yo, want a JV, want a JV? And I'm like, yo, get the hell out of here, dog. But it's a bad mindset to have, bro.
That was all day, bro. Like now I don't even want them to do with it. Like, take this deal, right? Find a buyer, please.
No,
right? I'll be glad to 50-50 with you. Right. And that's the mindset shift, bro. Like find the people who can help you out and go attack that, right? Do it together.
Yeah. For sure, bro. That brings us to just being grateful for stuff. Like I think gratitude is one of the biggest things that gets me through this business.
And what happened? Say that again, bro.
I said I think gratitude, like coming full circle with everything, I think gratitude is what gets me through this business completely. Like I'm grateful for those, just like you're grateful as shit for the partnership that you got in with Olu on deals and the friendship that you got in with him and the people that I collab with and my team and everything. I'm just super grateful for it, and it gets me through this business.
Gratitude is the life hack, bro. Like whenever I'm feeling down, whenever I'm like pissed off and I feel like I like shit is just going wrong, I just stop and I'm like, yo, you're being ungrateful. Think of everything you should be grateful for. Right? You can't be upset and grateful at the same time. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. Right? Like so once you just shift that mindset and you just become grateful for everything, even the negatives, right? You're gonna attract way more positive. You're gonna attract anything you want, bro.
Because you reap what you sow.
100%.
And it goes back to that law of abundance thing.
Yep.
Once you run everything through that good funnel, you end up having a reaction that's good, aka you reap what you sow. You put out good shit's gonna end up coming back. So for that particular deal that is falling through for me right now, I had to run it through that funnel. Yo, this is something that I learned from. Like, there's a bunch of good things that came out of this. Now I know to never do the things that I did in this deal again.
100%, bro. Yo, I could be going through toughest time of my life and nobody will ever know. You will not be able to see that because I'm always grateful, bro. And you'll always see a smile on my face, like no matter what's going on. Because been talking about, bro, if you sit there, you sulk, you're pissed off about what's going on, you're gonna attract exactly what you've been doing to get in that in the first place, getting that position in the first place, you know.
Facts, bro. Well, yo, if anybody's listening that would like some help next week,
we got people listening, bro. Facebook got like a bunch of comments on Facebook, bro. A bunch of people viewing. Just like shit.
Yeah, bro. We want some guests. So if anybody has sellers that we can call, if anybody has a business that we could throw you on a hot seat and figure out the bottlenecks and figure out what's going on in your business and to figure out how we can get you to the next level, we want to get you on for these next coming weeks. So, Daryll, I'm excited for this, bro.
I'm excited, bro. I think this was a good intro to what we got in store, bro. They don't even know.
Yo, everything. Watch this. Everything that we just talked about is going to come full circle in about 6 months. Watch how both my life and your life is going to change in these next 6 months.
100%.
And everything that we just talked about is going to come full circle within this show. Because we plan on doing this consistently every single week.
Every week, once a week, every Saturday. Every Saturday, we're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be streaming on YouTube, Facebook. I'll even go live on Instagram too. But come to YouTube and come party with us in the comments. And we're gonna get people up here, like we said, put them in the hot seat and help, right? Provide value. Provide as much value as possible.
Yes, sir. Daryll, I'm excited, dog.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Anything else you want to say?
Nah, bro. I think it was a good show, man. I'll see everybody next week, bro.
Yes,
Saturday,
sir.
10 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Every Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Let's do
I know
it.
some of you people are over on the West Coast. You weirdos on the West Coast. But, all right, bro.
Appreciate you, brother.